Hello. What's good, everybody? It is Wednesday night and time to get back into some Cobra Kai. And the other dojo coming back at it with me is the one, the only Snafu Z. What's up, Sensei?
Man, it looks like we planned it today. You and your Daniel outfit, me and my Johnny outfit.
Oh, keeping it real, barbecue beer and freedom.
Show me your beach ball.
Oh, man, are we doing Peacemaker or Cobra Kai? Feel the love. Oh, what's up, Jay Cruz? I see you out there. Man, it looks like you got a little refresher in, so you're going to be fresh on the episode. Man, I don't know. You're saying this is filler. We were just saying I don't think it's filler at all. I was absolutely loving the train ride, and yeah, I'm full steam ahead.
Yeah, right back on track, right?
It's fantastic. And this is Cobra Kai Season 4, Episode 6, and Kicks Get Chicks. But it was funny, before we even get started, like how you touched on last week, like sometimes somebody's just a better fighter. Like fighting your daughter as an example, like no matter what style she used, you'd still win because you're bigger and a better fighter. And that's the exact reason that made him change the rules in the tournament. So I thought that was kind of a crazy time.
Right. Like, I didn't think of it that way about because she was a girl. But that was funny how they did it. Like, we're encouraging boys to beat up girls. That was so. That meeting was pretty funny, even though it was like a little filler thing, and they're arguing about the mats and the one dude's people not showing up. That was funny.
Are you absolutely an amazing open? Like, clearly the blue mats led to a surge in attendance. Like, the fact that they gave a callback to that dude was just perfection.
That was so funny.
Oh, I was loving
Some of us care about tradition.
You know, it was the blue mats that brought the people in, dude. I love that. Because that was one of my favorite parts about that guy just being so into the blue mats. And the fact that they made a callback to that was everything. Like, oh, I love it.
I mean, the story progressed. I disagree.
Man. Yeah, I do.
To be fair, I don't know the end, so maybe it doesn't. But we get a new division. And clearly, we're getting a new girl, like in Eagle Fang. And Cobra Kai.
Dude, we're getting new characters. We got brand new Johnnyisms coming in. We got a whole new situation going on with the tournament. We got Terry, like you called last week. It looks like he's going to be delving into more of an evil character. Like, he kept it cool when he was talking to Daniel, but when the owner of that mart said, hey, you can't be using this place, you're going to have to buy something, he turned around and that man was like, do your thing. I don't want none of you.
That was a whole funny thing that you just use this place as your office, as a conference room. Is that what he said?
Yeah. It's like, you're going to use this place as a conference room. You're going to have to buy something. And Terry just gave him a look. He's like, hey, take your time. It's all good. It is all good. But tell me you weren't giggling when he said, like, why would we go back to the red mats? Like, dude, the best lines in this show were 30 seconds in.
Oh, I don't know about that. Oh. Best line in the show was about... I don't know, 10 minutes in.
Oh, we're going to get there. How about Ron trying to flaunt a dad on his kid's team being a talent agent, and then they talk about the Malcolm Jamal Warner incident? Like, George is we all wore egg on our face that day. Like, this meeting was by far my favorite part of the episode.
Oh, it was hilarious. Not nearly my Johnny. I had to dress up like Johnny just because he was so good in this episode.
We got some great Johnnyisms. But like you were saying, that guy brought up such a great point. Like, so we're sanctioning an event that encourages boys to punch and kick young girls. Like, none of you thought that could be problematic? Like, they're all like,
I like how they did it, too. Like, by the time we get to the end, it's all funny at the end. It's all serious. So do we agree on this? Like the whole world's going to hate us. Or what?
Yeah. Oh, dude, like, it's their everything. Like, the committee comes to that agreement, and they're taking it extremely seriously. Like, for this will be their legacy. After many hours and many even more coffees, like, they come to terms with new rules for the tournament. Like, I don't know. Like I said, that was just an all-around epic scene.
Yeah, and it was – and just the rules they came up with were genius. Like, the kata part. Like, that's great. Not just like, hey.
Dancing.
Right. Not for, like just because girls and boys, right? Like, you now put this other event where you're like, okay, girls can compete against guys, but we're just not having guys beat up on girls. We're not sanctioning that.
Exactly. So then Daniel brings the news to the changed rules, and Sam seems happy enough, and Daniel seems ecstatic. But Dimitri keeps it real, saying how like they're good for the occasional inspirational moment, but not exactly center mat material. Dude, and then I just love the contrast to like Daniel saying like this is the best thing that could have happened to us, right into Johnny saying this is the worst thing that could have happened to us. Like, great, dude.
Yep, that's hilarious. What if like Johnny had some crazy kata and he beats Daniel? That'd be funny.
That would be a sweet dude. That would be fantastic. It'll probably go down like that too, the way this show's written. And Johnny just lays right into it. Like, what's this about a female division? I thought it was all about women's lib. They need to man up and take a punch just like the rest of us. Like, dude, I was cracking up. Like, quick to say, I do not in any way condone men hitting women. I've never hit a woman in my life, which is probably why that's so funny to me.
Right, me too.
Oh,
and Johnny wouldn't either, right? Like that's the whole thing. He probably wouldn't, and it's just like he's just coming up the point. It's almost like when your football team, like someone gets arrested for robbing a gas station, and you're like, nah, he didn't do that. Like you probably had a great reason to rob the gas station, right? Like because he's on your team. That's just kind of what he's doing.
Oh man. Okay, do any of you know any girls? And like all of them put their head down, and like Johnny's like, "Of course you don't know any girls." And I was like, "That's true, dude." Like remembering where they all came from.
That was so funny.
And then go run some laps. Maybe it'll jog your memory. Like memory of what? We already established you don't know any girls. Like, and then the don't breathe too hard. There's mold in the corner. Oh, talking about teaching life's not perfect, dude. It was just amazing.
That's funny.
And then Terry's going all in, like talking about he wants their logo on billboards and places all over the valley. And I thought it was cool how Kreese was quick to bring it back and on the back of both All Valley champions. Like I think that was important, kind of showing that Terry wants to go big and blow up, but Kreese is all about the kids and winning. Like I think that may become a divide between them in the end.
Right, like he just wants to be the best, like beat Johnny and Daniel, I think.
Like, and I think he wants to go big and like advertise and like be the biggest and best in the valley, and like he wants to go big like that. And Kreese is keeping it real, trying to keep it about the kids. Like we want our kids to be champions, we want our kids to come through and be the best in this. Like, so yeah, I thought that was kind of cool how they touched on that. And they are laying it on thick with the redemption on Tori, man. Like now she's got to use her aunt trying to take what little money she has to take care of the family. Like even at this point, I'm starting to crack and feel sorry for the girl.
Right. So this is what I was thinking on this episode. They're setting up a Tori win for All Valley. That's what I think. Yeah. That's what I got when they were doing it, because I felt the same exact way. That now, like for you said that. So it verified it to me. Okay, they're making you feel bad. Nobody's all evil. Got to give her a redemption. She's, all Valley.
Jay Cruz says he's a businessman, and I think that's what it's going to come down to. He is a businessman, and he wants to blow up and make the name big, and Kreese just wants the kids to win. Like, he just cares about them becoming championships and being better. So actually trying to make you feel better like about Kreese, like, which is crazy. What's up, Peter Griffin? I see you out there. He said, hated that aunt. Yeah, she was disgusting. That was terrible. Like that was like the last straw. Like at first I was like, screw Tori. She did all this to herself. She deserves it. But man, knowing everything that's on her plate and now that on top of it, like this girl really is dealing with it. Like that's too much for any little girl.
Right.
First watch through, I was like, oh, they're giving Lynn, the homeless lady, a cameo. And then the second time when I was writing the outline out, I was like, I noticed that they kept framing her in the background. And that made me think like it's going to come down and Amanda's going to end up cleaning her up to use her as a witness in some kind of custody battle when Tori has to go to court for the kids and the aunt tries pulling some shit.
Right.
Like, did you get that, or did you go that far into it?
I didn't, but I did notice they like focused in on that. So it's like they don't show you anything. Like based on what we've seen so far in the show, they do common tricks, or not tricks, but they follow the rules of
writing. That's a filmmaking. That's a Chekhov's homeless woman, right?
Right. I mean, you got to put it there, and everything in frame is supposed to be there.
And I noticed, like in frame, when they turned around on both sides, they had her in the back of the frame. I was like, why do they keep showing her? Like she didn't say nothing. She's not in it. Like they're just like, oh, cool. They're giving Lynn a cameo shot. And I was like, no, there's something more to that.
Yeah,
Like,
they've done it twice, I think, so far this season too. Like that she's been there. Pretty sure.
You said craziest finale of all. Yeah, even my mom and dad have already seen it all, and they're like, oh man, there has to be a second season the way they ended it, or another season the way they ended it. And on that note, I did just yesterday saw that they did confirm it. There is 100% indeed going to be a season 5. So,
now end it there.
That's Andy's thing. Don't go past 5, but bring it. But yeah, that'll be pretty cool. But yeah, I'm calling that's one of my big predictions now. I'm calling it. I think they're going to bring that homeless lady in to like testify. I think Tori's mom's going to die. She's going to have to go fight the aunt for the kids for custody, and Amanda's going to clean that homeless lady up because she's going to find out she heard it all and bring her in for a testify and beat the aunt. Calling it now.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
But Johnny's thinking like he's some kind of Mac and going to have no problems going to talk some girls into joining his dojo was so off the rails. Like we already saw what happened the first time around when he tried finding recruits, like absolute epic fails. And then the fact of like letting some old dude on school property, like, I mean, come on, like harassing a bunch of young women. The whole thing was so ridiculous.
That was what was so funny about it. He was with Miguel. So there's that.
I guess he could have walked with that. But not thinking it could get any more awkward or insane, we're proven wrong again as he decides to oil up said Miguel. And like, sadly, that may have worked back in the 80s, but not so much these days. I was like, are you kidding me?
That was so funny.
Give him the beach ball. Dude.
That's so funny.
Yeah, that was absolutely ridiculous. And it's not like Johnny to lie. Like he told that one young girl he has studs, which won a lie or whatever. And then he's like, whatever floats your boat, we have hot chicks too. It's like, no, you don't. Like,
well,
what is that?
Planning ahead, man. He's about to.
Man, I don't know. I've never known Johnny to lie before. That one kind of hurt. I was like, what are you doing? And then first off, bravo to Amanda. She was looking as amazing as ever. And I like how she's like playing it with Tori, like not exactly letting her forget what she did, but still willing to help.
I didn't like it at first, right? Like that she was kind of mean, like, oh, new friend. But then she turned it around. Like she realized she needed help, and then she made like a little joke about it. She's like, you remember the way? Like, and she smiled, like just a little smile. Great acting, like facial acting. Like it was just like this half smile. You knew that Tori didn't react, even though you couldn't see her face. By the way, Amanda reacted to her joke.
Right, exactly. Oh, dude, Amanda's always been one of my favorite characters. Like, yeah, she's amazing. Love Amanda. And we know the spot Tori's in, so it's like I believe her when she says she's going to leave Sam alone. But what if Sam won't leave her alone? You know she's going to have to defend herself.
Right. Like it's going to be a problem.
Oh, and you just knew Sam was going to walk in and see Tori there. Like, no way that wasn't going to go down. Like, could we expect Sam to act any other way than how she is?
Yeah, not really. Like she used a weapon on her twice.
Right? And like for once, I don't see it as whining. Like I feel Sam actually had a point. Nobody is listening to this girl, and like nobody's listening to what she wants or maybe even needs. Like this girl is going through some traumatic post-stress. It's like they don't seem to be taking that into consideration. It's like, oh, let's just help this other lady.
That's funny because it's kind of like an 80s punishment. Like my mom, if like me and my brother were fighting, she would like lock us in a room together. Like that was like a thing. I'm pretty sure that's like a little how people treated like problems back then. Think about The Parent Trap. You know that movie?
Mm-hmm. With Steve Martin, Lindsay Lohan?
Yeah. Well, there's an older one, but yeah, that one too. The two girls are fighting a bunch at camp and they get locked in the cabin together. That's a terrible idea, right? But that's like an older thing.
The older trope how it works.
So it's just funny. Not to say that's right or that that's actually what's happening, but in older movies and stuff and shows, that's what would solve a problem.
You put two people in a room, you either kill each other or you work it out.
So yeah, maybe.
Yeah. What's up? I haven't watched The Big Bang. Which one are you talking about? Was Tori on there or Sam? I never watched The Big Bang. Peter Griffin says, oh, yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. I don't know. I haven't seen that one. Which one was it? But man, Hawk is feeling some kind of way. Like he's too embarrassed to show his face anywhere. Like I agree, he kind of deserved what he got, but karate changed his life for the better. Like he can't just give up on it for good, could he?
No, not really. Like, yeah, I don't like it either. That's what I was thinking. Like, it doesn't help. But if we think like 2 seasons back, like I was like, hey, maybe he needs to start getting a little Miyagi-Do in him because like he's getting too aggressive.
He did, yeah. He needed to calm the hell down. Like breaking his best friend's arm, that was messed up. The mom, she's Sheldon's twin sister. Oh, really, Amanda? Nice. How do you think? Yeah, I love Amanda. Absolutely. She, like I said, she's always been one of my favorites. Dude, if I was that dad in the gym and asked a guy which one's his and got the answer that Johnny gave, I would have just like, dude, I'd have backed away straight Homer Simpson style and been calling for security. Like, what the hell, dude?
Right?
Oh,
that was
so
that was so ridiculous. But it comes into like my favorite line in the show.
Oh man. And where the hell did Johnny get those lines? Like he was speaking very awake.
Yeah, it was definitely he just copied what Moon said, right? Like she told him exactly what to say, and he said it exactly
verbatim.
Because the response, like when Miguel's like, do you even know what any of that stuff means? He's like, he didn't say no. He said, do I look like I pee sitting down?
Exactly, dude. Oh, that's what I've written down later. Like, just another perfect Johnnyism coming through. Like, that was fantastic.
So he just verbatim copied it. That's my thought. Is like, he didn't say, he doesn't know what any of that means. So there's no way he could have formed that sentence on his own.
No, of course not. And I also didn't notice till the second watch that when Johnny gave that girl the flyer, that all her friends were in the background holding the boxes of swag that Cobra Kai and Terry had bought. Like, I didn't realize he's giving shit out to schools. That was pretty damn clever.
Right.
That was crazy. I was like, of course they're going to go with that. I was like, how are you going to compete with that, Johnny boy? But, yeah, and I wasn't really feeling, that's the one thing, I wasn't really feeling Amanda's story, like, as an excuse for helping the enemy. Like, you trashed my house and terrorized my daughter. Like, I don't equate what she did with that. Like, what she did was, something, out of passion, crime of passion, but this was an all-out gang fight like the Cobra Kai brought to her house. They threw little Bert through the window, for God's sake.
Right. It's a show, 1. So let's be fair. 2, I think when you have, like, certain troubles, like, I really have a soft spot for, like, troubled kids. Because like my childhood, and I can see where she'd come from, like from my perspective. It's like she's not saying, hey, forgive everything. She's saying, hey, start on the path to make it better. We'll give you this opportunity, right? Because she understands there's now something to lose. Because she obviously seen she's working, like when she doesn't have to, so she cares about her family. She's 17. She could just become an adult. Like she's taking care of her mom and her brother. So yeah, Amanda's aware of that. I think that's what makes it like her okay with it.
Yeah, little Tori needs some empathy. Opie Grisman says he's okay with Amanda's story, gives her more screen time. Absolutely. Like I said, fantastic. She was spot on. So I agree. There you go. It's more screen time, I guess, any way we can take it. She's fantastic. And Hawk wants to quit karate, and Dimitri's not having it. Like, he finally admits, like, it's the best thing that ever happened to him. And I also like how he's a realist and knows that, like, there's a very likely chance that his extremely hot girlfriend is probably going to fall in love with some hot Aussie while away on vacation. Like, I love how they touched on that.
Right. And it's just, I don't know. He just doesn't have the confidence, man.
But the karate gave him confidence a lot more than he had, and then he knows like that's the best thing in his life. Like, and like I said, I like how they were a realist about that. Like, that's probably going to happen, and he knows it's going to happen, so he's just ready for it. Like, he knows he's like out of his league already. And how great was that Binary Brothers video? Oh my god,
that was funny. 0.
Oh, dude, the lasers coming out of the cat's eyes. I was like, this is perfectly awful. Oh man, yeah, that was pretty cool. And Daniel ambushes Robbie at the mart. And do you think his words are going to end up sinking in and having any effect at all?
Maybe if it comes to fruition, then he'll probably realize it.
Like, was Daniel right and Terry's a monster that turned him into something he wasn't, or is Terry right and only unleashed something that was already in Daniel?
Terry's right, 100%. We've been saying that the whole time, that like Daniel like needed Miyagi because of how he was. He was a hothead. That's 100% true.
Absolutely, he was a hothead. Yeah, I like that. And then and it does look like I said with that little thing that he did on the thing. I think he called it last week that he is kind of going to be heading on the track of becoming more evil again.
Right.
Like, I think that is definitely in the works the way that happened. That's just all in the look is all it took. Like, yep, he's going back down a dark path. And back at Eagle Fang, Johnny has the entire quiver sitting around waiting for their new female recruit. When Miguel goes to DM her, he sees that she's posted that she's joining with Cobra Kai. And Johnny just seems like he was just as mad at the fact that he had to learn feminism as he was about losing her, dude. I was just dying.
That was the point.
Just the little lines they sneak in are amazing.
Right. And there's another one at the very end of this scene where he's like, they ultimately say, okay, we just, I wasn't a champion when you met me. Like, you found something. Like, let's do that same thing, right? And he's like, we just need to think outside the box. Johnny ends it with, think outside the box. Whatever that means.
Oh, yeah, Jake, I definitely need to rewatch 3. I forgot more than I remember about that show, and I know that has a lot to do with what's going on. So, yeah, absolutely, I need to do that. But, yeah, exactly. When Miguel gives Johnny that pep talk and tells him about thinking about outside the box, like how he instantly put it on his students to do that, like, that was amazing. It kind of really showed that it really is kind of an all-for-one type of situation over there.
Right.
So that was pretty tight. I mean,
and that makes sense. Like, in Miyagi, like, Daniel is the person, right? He's the master.
Right.
And that's it. But not in, Eagle Fang's like, hey, I'm messed up. You're messed up. Let's all like do what we can together. I have the drive or whatever, and I'm going to drive you to do whatever.
But what the things that he tells and the lessons that he's teaching actually matter, which we find out in the next scene when Sam goes up to see Aisha. She needs a friend to talk to, so we got another Aisha cameo. And after this pep talk, I mean, you think Sam's going to end up at Cobra Kai, or maybe you think she's just going to end up like using their strike first tactics like we kind of see she does at the end of the show?
No, she's going to sneak off like and do some like secret practice with Cobra Kai, or she's just going to straight up join Cobra Kai, which would suck. Well, it might happen because now you got... Wait, no, it can't happen because there's no other girl in Miyagi-Do.
Right. Yeah, Miyagi-Do would be completely screwed. Like, she'd be burying her dad if he'd have no chance.
Right. So I'm gonna go with sneaks around. And
But like we were just saying, like Aisha's not even in karate, but she said, like, they can stop me from taking karate classes, but they can't stop me from using the lessons that Sensei Johnny's taught me. So, I mean, that's a big deal. And it's like, dude, she said, I'm not going to let the cycle continue. I'm not going to continue to get bullied. She went straight at that girl that was about to be a problem, and now they're besties. So, I mean, obviously the lessons that Johnny's teaching are really working and mean something. I mean, that's amazing. Oh, about that rule change, I bet Aisha is a pod. She made it to the quarterfinals and almost beat the defending champ. She's a pod.
True.
I'd be sick if she came back though, and she's like fighting for somebody.
He meant she's PO'd.
Oh, PO'd. Pod. Yeah, I didn't see the apostrophe. That's it. I'm blind as a bat. Oh, I bet IG she's PO'd. Yep, exactly. Oh, she was hyped. Remember how mad she was when she lost that match, storming around in the back room? Like, she was hella hyped she lost that. Like, she'd come back and actually be at it. So that would be cool if she does make a cameo back at the end. Like, I heard you need a female fighter. Like, that'd be sick.
That'd be cool.
Aisha, so glad to meet you. Oh, Miguel gives Johnny a pep talk and tells him he needs to start thinking. And so we saw what happens with that situation. And it was cool to hear, like, even though she's out of karate, like I said, how Aisha's implementing all the lessons she taught or learned from Johnny. So Johnny finally thinks outside the box and comes up with a brilliant plan of having his weaker students dress up as girls for the tournament. Getting the idea from the Ladybugs movie of all things. Like, R.I.P. to Rodney Dangerfield, but what the hell is Johnny thinking?
Dude, that was so funny when he explains it. He's like, I can't get no respect. He's like, there's this guy, and he can't get no respect. Like that, I don't know. That whole thing was funny, but that's what I thought of when the thing came out, the Ladybugs.
Oh, absolutely. And then, it totally compares to Johnny. And it's funny how Bert tries to say that, like, that's the girl I was telling you about. And Johnny's like, shut up, Bert. He's like, I just found the most badass girl in the valley. Like, he's going to claim like he has anything to do with this. Like, that was fantastic. It's like, dude, this is the girl Bert was trying to get you to come see in the first place. And now you're going to act like you found somebody. Like, that was awesome.
Yeah. And you just knew, right? I was going to say that earlier. You just knew when that got brought up before that she was going to be the girl, right?
Right.
Like when it got brought up in the first place, I'm like, she's going to be the one. Like none of it's going to work out. But that's what I thought initially, and I was right.
Exactly. And then back at Miyagi-Do, Dimitri gets let off the hook with a reappearance from the Hawk, and he's here to basically have his best friend's back. So that's good to see he's going to get back. And we knew Hawk wasn't going to stay out of karate. There's no way. But do you think like a humble Hawk will be more or less dangerous at the tournament?
More.
Like more focused and ready to go?
I'd be surprised if Hawk doesn't do a good showing. Like he is I don't want to say he's going to win, but they are like giving him a redemption. Like his whole redemption story. So I'm wondering if they do an episode next week where it's really about Hawk's redemption, I will say that he's going to win the All Valley.
That'd be pretty sick. I love that. Is it Hawk or Eli?
I'm going Hawk. I don't care.
It was funny when Daniel's being all nice. Like, what is it? I'm just so glad you're here. Like, whatever you want, buddy. Like, that was amazing.
Johnny would be like, hey, dipshit.
I'd be like, you're a dojo slut. How long are you going to be here before you switch to another dojo? This is his third time. Like, dude, fourth time, really. Dude, he was at Cobra Kai. Then he was at Eagle Fang. Then he's basically at Cobra Kai Part 2. Now he's going to be at Miyagi-Do. Like, what is it, man? He is literally just a dojo whore.
Right. And it'd be cool if, like, he won, because if he wins at Miyagi, even if he wins at Miyagi, it kind of shows that, like, they all have value because he's been at all of them.
And maybe that's what they'll use it. Like, he's been and he's learned all three. Like, he's learned all three things, so he'll be the most dangerous because he'll be able to put it all to use. Because he'll be able to take something from all three of them. And that would be sick. Like, somebody calls him Eli, like he's all bummed down or almost getting ready to lose. And somebody calls him, let's go, Eli. And he rips off his gi and shows that big Hawk tattoo on his back. He's like, the name's Hawk. And goes in and starts kicking. That'd be amazing. Oh, absolutely amazing. So Tori gets back into school and all the kids are kind of whispering, and Sam wastes no time at all, like striking first. Like, I get it, but leaving it with the like, I'm coming for you, bitch. Like, that was a bit over the top, wasn't it?
No. Dude, no. She said that over the announcements. Sam didn't make that up on her own. Like, we have to separate. Like, I agree with Sam. Like, I'm being 100%. I agree with Sam confronting it head on. The only reason, like, we as viewers wouldn't agree with Sam is because we can see now Tori's story. But if you're Sam, who gives a shit? Like, if there's a tragic reason why someone like impales you with brass knuckles and stuff, or like spiked knuckles and attacks you at your house with nunchucks, like, no sob story is going to make you feel bad for that.
Not at all. Not at all. It's like, you got everything you got coming. That's why I was like, even with Eli, I was like, yeah, I get it. You kind of had it coming, but now you got yours, and, pick yourself back up and get back at it.
Yeah, I get Hawks. Like, I understand his perspective of like hiding. It's like when You ever talk so much shit before a football game about how your team's gonna win, and then they get like destroyed, and you're just like, I'm gonna pretend like the internet doesn't exist for a couple days.
He's like, I can't take it. Yeah, let me just bow out for a minute.
Airplane mode on my phone because I know all my friends are gonna be calling me like,
Blown up, ready to talk some smack. Absolutely. Oh, yeah, I loved it. I wasn't mad at this episode at all. We got some Johnny-isms. We got some classics. I mean, yeah, we do some great lines. And like I said, the first 5 minutes with that committee meeting was absolutely amazing. So I had no complaints about this episode. How about you?
No, it was good. Like I said, back on track. It was a good episode. Way better than last week's. Not that last week's was terrible. It just wasn't like the normal.
Right. It just wasn't, it wasn't up to par. Like, I mean, when you got all these great episodes, anything that's weaker is definitely going to show out. It just kind of did. And like I said, it wasn't a terrible episode. It was just the worst one out of all of them so far.
Right. Probably not the whole show, but this season for sure.
This season. But yeah, if this season are all 9s and all of a sudden they put up a 7, I mean, it's going to show out. It's going to stand out for sure. Oh, man, so that's about it for the episode. We got just a couple trivia questions to see what anybody remembers about it. If you know the answers, write them in the comments. And if you're watching now, put them in the chat box. What's up? What sport was Ron's son in that had a dad who was a talent agent?
Dang it. I remembered that at the beginning.
Oh, what's up, Iron Chone? I see you out there.
I don't know. If I remember by the end, I'll say it.
Oh, he says I watch them all at once like a movie. Absolutely. It's hard to forget some stuff, or it's easier to forget some stuff when you do it like that because it all just kind of runs together, at least for me. Oh, so yep. What sport was he in? And then next up, who's the committee member so excited about the blue mats? What's the committee member's name that's so pumped up about the blue mats?
He has to put names in there because he knows even if I got every other question, I would not get them. If he asked in the question, what's Daniel's wife's name? I would probably not get that right.
Oh, dude, you gotta love Amanda. Come on now. Who did they say Ron couldn't get to show up for a free buffet?
Oh, John Candy.
Incorrect.
Dang it. A guy like him.
Yes, kind of a guy like him. Oh, that was hilarious. He's like, who did they say Ron couldn't get to show up for a free buffet?
He had a show. The guy that it is, I can't think of his name, but he had a show where it was a cartoon version of him as a kid. That's the guy, but I don't know his name. Jake
just nailed it.
Louis Anderson. Now look it up. Did Louis Anderson have a cartoon show of him as a kid?
You want to talk about a really deep dive? The first time I ever saw Louis Anderson was on a Rodney Dangerfield special way back in the day on HBO, dude. It was amazing. He walked out and there's that dude, he's a big guy. And he walked out and there's that little skinny little microphone stand. And that's the first thing he said. He walked out and he's like, here, let me move this so you can see me. And I was instantly crying. And he did not get any less funny after that, dude. It was amazing. Like, that guy was hilarious. Oh, that's awesome. What a tie-in. Dimitri said their quiver is just a bunch of what? What did Dimitri compare all the people at Miyagi to? What name did he call them?
I don't know. That seems way too specific for me to remember.
Oh, he said, yeah, we're not center mat material. We're just a bunch of. Oh, if you know that answer, write in the chat box. We're watching later. Put it in. It's like Life with Louie. Was that the cartoon?
Yeah, it was great. I used to watch it all the time.
Whose car did Amanda smash up with a bat?
Her math tutor.
Hey, there you
banging her mom. Or dad.
Oh, I guess we didn't know. No, yeah, it was the dad. That's right. That's funny.
She does say dad.
What's Moon's ex's name that Johnny tried to recruit?
Something. I don't know. It is very prominent. Like, it wasn't that awkward, like weird of a name, but it was kind of weird.
A little bit. Where did Aisha's dad get a job?
Piper.
Ah, nailed it. Oh, wow, and you got it. They didn't even give that to you in the chat. Nice. Yep, that was her name. Absolutely. Nice. Nailed it. Where did Aisha's dad get a job?
Low something. I don't know. Somewhere in California.
Got a job at Lowe's?
No, I said low something.
Oh, yeah. Someplace in California. Yeah, it was someplace in California. So Sam could drive to it. You know that answer? Put it in the comments if you're watching.
San Bernardino. Some college. I don't know.
Absolutely. That's funny because you said that. I was like, oh, is that it? Because I don't think that's it. But yeah, that's funny. It's actually, I'll actually say it. It's he said some production company. No, it's actually UCSB.
So did I get San Bernardino? Is that what I said?
Just it. I don't think so. I think it's University of California, Santa Barbara.
Oh, Santa Barbara.
I think. Or University. Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure though, but yeah, I think it's University of California, Santa Barbara. But yeah, then you said San Bernardino. I was like, wait a minute, do they have a college? I never heard of that one, but it could be. Oh, no, you got me tripping on my own question. Bingo, bango. Last one up. What did Aisha compliment her new bestie on?
Pink shoes.
Oh, bingo. Look at you go. Like, brought it home. Nicely done. Strong finish. Absolutely. And that's going to do it for us. Yeah, man, like I said, I like this episode. I'm loving it. Can't wait to watch the next one and keeping it moving. So we're going to be back next Wednesday, keeping it rolling, talking about the Cobra Kai Season 4. And like I said, they already got a Season 5 confirmed. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how this one goes and see how it ends up. So until we see you guys next Wednesday, I hope everybody's having an absolutely fantastic week. And it only gets better from here. Until we see you next Wednesday, be easy, everybody.